Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Good morning and welcome to the Seneca County Board of Commissioners budget hearing. This is our third day with a series of hearings. We have four that we'll be talking with this morning. Today's Tuesday, October 7th. It's 10:30. Commissioner Franker is over at Board of Revisions. He'll be joining us as this is a working meeting. We're beginning with our county coroner, Dr. Zachary West, and we'll go from there. Thank you. Welcome, Doctor.
Thank you.
Okay. How's it feel to have 8 months under your belt?
It's been a busy 8 months. Like I mentioned before, we've been putting a lot of structure and foundation in. Still working on ironing out some things, but general workflow is improved, and we got a good process. When it
Now you
comes
had
to-
some real data as far as budget goes. You were pretty well
Yeah.
kind of just, it was your first budget, right? You
Yeah, it was
didn't have
first
any
budget.
historical data.
Yep.
So, yeah, so this meeting really is for us to get to know your operation as well a little bit and kind of your needs.
Yep.
And of course, we're always looking at the money, but it's not always all about the money. So it's kind of informal. Barb, you want to take us down, or Doc, you want to go? We have the actual coroner 23, 24, 25, and proposed 26 in front of us. So we have a little bit of
Do you have
historical.
that yourself?
No, he probably does
I
not.
don't have a fancy color copy. I just have the
Yeah.
scratch work
Okay.
that we worked on.
Well, I had to request it because I need bigger print, but
Me too.
we understand that through this first year, you've made some changes, some upgrades, we've increased some funding, and to help you do what you want to do and be more involved in your organization. But so why don't you just give us an overview of maybe before we jump into the money, the budget piece of how things are going. And is it what you thought, and what are some maybe new things some things you'd like to do different, that kind of thing.
Okay.
And that'll help us as we go down through the budget.
Yeah, so overall, I mean, we put a good foundation in place where now when there's a death or a call to the coroner's office, we have a process by which, you know, whoever's requesting a coroner's office response has a process to get to us. There may be some room for improvement in that area. Right now we go through dispatch through various law enforcement agencies, and then they'll get in touch with the on-call person. But each case that we get, we kind of classify either into what was called a non-coroner's call or notification call, or determine whether it's a case that we're going to investigate. And that kind of varies. Sometimes if you have like a hospice death, we're not going to use a lot of resources to investigate that, but we will actually document and keep record of that call, the decedent, and what transpired. But we're not going to dispatch an investigator to the scene. We're not going to go.
What are the two types of cases? The
So
first one
a
would be
non-coroner's case,
A non-coroner's case?
or what Coroner
No.
Files calls it a notification report.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or a coroner's case, which
Got
is
it.
more so of when
So
we.
I'm sorry, but my terminology is the same now.
It's okay.
I'm following you. Yep.
So, and I don't know that in the past those were keeping track, which is something you want to keep track of. So things that might be like a notification report, hospice-related death, or a death of an MRDD individual, those are required by law to be notified to the coroner's office. And I don't know that those are being kept track in the past. We do keep track of them now. And so we'll create a notification report in coroner's file. And it keeps track of who the decedent was, you know, time of death, date of death, who made the call, whatever the circumstances were. And that's usually where it stops there. So
Okay.
if there is a call that becomes a possible need for an investigation, then it becomes a case file or a coroner's case. So there'll be an actual file created. There's file numbers that we now have. And an investigator may go to the scene. Sometimes law enforcement may be able to give us enough information that we can make a judgment call without having to dispatch to the actual scene. Investigator may go to the scene, take photos, and investigate themselves. And then from there, we decide whether we're gonna send it to Lucas County for autopsy, toxicology, or make a ruling on it. And so there's variance there as well. So, I mean, if you look at this, this is nice because this printout is pretty easily accessible from coroner files now. You can kind of see based on months, how many total,
Is this a new software you
yeah, this is the new
purchased this year?
software for this
right?
year, yep.
Yeah.
Very common for most coroner's offices to have this. What's nice
Okay.
about this system is Sandusky and Ottawa County all utilize it. So I actually have access, you can create like a guest account for me to see Sandusky County.
Do we have an extra one for Commissioner Frankfurt?
You can have, and if you want to share with
We
one
can
of them.
share for right now, and I'll make sure he gets a copy of
Okay,
it.
sorry.
No, you're fine.
I didn't think I hear him coming.
So I'm able to see their stuff, and we also have that memorandum of understanding between our two counties. So that was put into place in the event that there was ever a mass casualty event that one county needed assistance from the other. We actually have something with Sandusky County, and that's because both counties are following what standard are. Sandusky County went through this transition. I'm trying to get Seneca County through this transition. Ottawa County went through this transition. So they're all kind of coming up to speed with where that minimum standard is in response to medical legal death investigation. So having that in place, may or may not at some point come into play. One county can call
For
the
the
other.
investigators, they go to all three counties?
No, they stay in our county.
Stay
So
in
our-
ours,
But there's that
okay.
memorandum of understanding I worked with to try to help, because you never know when there could be a mass casualty event. So let's say
Yeah.
there was a mass event in Seneca County and we had 30 bodies all at once, I don't know, plane crash or something. That's gonna be a lot of work. And so you're gonna want assistance on trying to sort through
So you're
all
thinking,
those.
you thought
decisions.
ahead. and-
Correct.
yeah.
So
Sure.
knowing that the neighboring county works very much similar in processing, we actually worked to create a memorandum between the two offices where I can call on the coroner for Sandusky County and say, hey, can you lend some investigators on this
Okay.
scene? And they could send the investigators over. And workflow is very similar between our two counties, vice versa. They could call on Seneca County. And we have it so that the call upon county would pay the other county what the rate would be hourly for those
Mhm.
investigators. So kind of planning ahead. But the software is the same as theirs, which is kind of nice. So we're all working kind of in the same even field as far as how we're keeping track of the county. So if you look at this, you can see based on total number of calls that we're getting each month, of those you can see how many are actually case files. We've had 50 case files this year. We've had 58 notification reports. And then what also is nice is it kind of breaks it down so you can see cases by manner of death. So if you see the cases per manner of death of 87 natural cases, if you subtract from that the 58 notification reports, and I know it's kind of math, is that gives you the total number of natural deaths that were coroner cases. Because all notification reports have to be a natural death in order for another party to sign for them.
Mhm.
You know, other physicians can sign on a natural death, coroners can sign on a natural death, only coroners can sign on suicide, homicide, unexplained, or accidental. So you have to have a coroner sign off on those ones. So that's how you figure out how many natural deaths Seneca County had.
Do you see, let's say a doc signs off, does that cross your desk? Or does that just kind of go?
So in the past, I don't know how that was keeping track. So like a notification report, let's say a hospice call came in, and they're required to notify the coroner's office that there was a
Welcome,
death in
Commissioner.
hospice.
Yeah. We introduced you before the meeting, so you're.
This is information.
They'll call our office and we'll take note, and we actually keep a record of that call and what transpired, but they may have a hospice physician that's willing to sign the death certificate. So I'll decline jurisdiction, we keep track of the notification
I
that
see.
we've received, but then we'll keep track of who was actually signing the death certificate. So,
Okay.
you could also have that happen if you get a call and it was a suspected natural death that happened at home and they had a primary care that they just saw a month ago. Again, this office would decline jurisdiction, but we'll keep track of that call at least and what transpired. And then they may have a primary care doctor that signs off on it. So that's kind of that. And then what's also nice is it starts to break down in categories of cause of death. So you can kind of see based on what we have, what the contributing cause of deaths are for each of those categories. Now, I don't have the same fancy colored data for 2024, but I pulled the records and tried to come up with numbers based on the files that were kept on those things. Some of them, it's kind of challenging because there was no formal at times investigation, it was literally just a copy of a death certificate. And that was all that was in a file. So I kind of had to base on just, like, there's a box, was an autopsy ordered, yes or no? Okay, well, I tried to keep tabs of that. So they had 98 files, 28 of them that I could find went for autopsy. And then on the death certificates that are in those files, you can kind of see what was cause, manner of death. So I know it's not the same fancy pie charts, but
So, Commissioner Franker, what we did is, this is the new software that the coroner purchased. Gave us a nice little, we got a copy there for you. Just an overview of how he's tracking things and how this is helpful. So we just started out with that. Now, if it's okay, Doc,
Yep.
we've got about 15 minutes left. Let's jump into the budget piece of it. But this is good work.
yeah.
I've never seen this, anything
Right,
like
no,
this
that's
before.
fantastic.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
fantastic.
definitely more information than what we've had in the past.
Sandusky, Ottawa County are using similar software, and
The exact same software as.
same
Sandusky, yeah,
software.
Exact same
and,
software.
Yeah, so thank you for that.
Because this helps lead into your budget to show
Correct.
what's really going on here.
Yeah, I think that's
So
kind of
yeah.
Yeah.
what we wanted to.
Yep.
Good. So, any major changes going into next year as we see that, supplies are up and some basic things, but
A couple areas.
mileage reimbursement for the case, didn't we budget something in there for that?
We
Last
have, I
Or
don't,
just-
last year, we did not in an initial budget because,
So we
we
paid
took
it.
travel out for all departments last year, so there was a request for, additional travel money, and that is to reimburse our case investigators
Yeah.
mileage.
And that's what that supplemental is,
Mhm.
yeah. Okay,
A couple areas where I know that there's a price increase year over year. One of them will be for transport for bodies.
Yeah.
Ingle Shook has been providing that service, and it was $250. And it was $250 to pick it up, take it to the county morgue, which is the morgue that's out at the hospital, and then $250 to take it from the morgue to Lucas County. It varies depending on the case as to where the body may go. If it's a homicide, it's gonna go straight from the scene up. Sometimes it'll go to the morgue and hold there and then go up. Sometimes it'll go to the morgue and hold, and then I'll decline to send it up and I'll just rule on it from there. So it kind of varies. That's gonna go to $265 from scene to morgue and from morgue to.
Is that all part of contract service?
Yes.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So that might, is one increase. The other part of it is the price for Lucas County to do the autopsies. My understanding is for quite a time, until the current coroner got in there was very much underfunded, or undercompensated for the out-of-county autopsies that Lucas County was doing. I think at one point he said about a third of the cost was being subsidized by the taxpayers of Lucas County. So they had to adjust the prices of those autopsies, and they didn't want to just spur it all at one thing, so they've done this sort of year-to-year gradual increase to get us up. I think it was $1,750, and we're on a trajectory to get up to like $3,300. So 3,400, something like that.
that was 1,450.
Yeah, and the way that Lucas County is doing
Okay.
their billing is based off of the the prior year's
Yeah.
autopsies that were conducted.
We have a contract for that,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, we
Yeah.
do.
So we're in a contract, this is just the realization of
Mhm.
that in our budget.
Correct,
Okay.
correct. To give you perspective, private autopsies are somewhere around $8,000 to $9,000 to be done.
Wow.
So,
I did not know that.
yeah, it's pricey. That's where having investigators, and I know that was not always a line item that had a lot of budget to it, but that's where that money does start to have the cost savings, because having thorough work in the investigation side of stuff you can decline having to go for an autopsy on more things. So you're kind of paying an investigator to put 2, 3, 4 hours
At
worth
the
of
front
work
end.
in on the front end, and you can avert having to send it up for an autopsy toxicology.
What's the, without dividing projected autopsies into the number, but what is the cost next year for '26? Do you know what it is? Is it 2,000?
For
I
the
think you
autopsy
said it,
thing,
yeah.
I think it's 3,300 or 3,400.
We're on our way there, does that start
Yeah,
next year?
I believe it starts
So
in-
we're there.
27. I believe that
27.
So
starts
we're
at 27.
one band before that.
Yes.
We can check that
Yes.
Right.
contract, no problem.
Um,
Is what it is, I guess, yeah. And many, if I remember right, there's like 10, 11 counties that use Lucas County,
they're
right?
all, pretty much all Northwest Ohio.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and so
next-
are we all paying the same, or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're doing the same sort of calculation formula based on like the year prior, and there's a calculation
I
formula
get
that
it.
they're doing to try to come up with the cost for each county. That's the closest one you got. The next closest one would be going to Cuyahoga County or Montgomery County. Montgomery County, I think, still is doing a flat rate. They're not doing this sort of calculated percentage-wise. But that's a long travel to try to get a body from Seneca County to Montgomery
I
County.
have to take those
Um,
calls.
They serve, to give you perspective, I didn't know this, but Montgomery County serves a large swath of Ohio because of that reason. And they actually, if you're dying in Marietta and they send you for an autopsy, you're going all the way to Dayton for an autopsy. So, that's a issue that's bigger than any one county. It's kind of a state issue and has to do with how much money is allocated towards these pathology study centers and what they're gonna compensate from the state and stuff, but. So that's one of the increases.
So I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So your salary for employees actually is down. Are you expecting to need less staffing?
I think we were trying to project, it's kind of hard because every case you don't know how many hours it'll be, and we compensate on the time when an investigator gets the call and dispatches to the scene. I think for this year, we didn't quite have an idea of what that would be, and so we kind of worked with Barb and we kind of tried to figure out an idea of what that would be projected forward.
And I'm sure there's some efficiencies of improvement since
Correct.
you guys
Yes,
have started.
and
Probably
it-
should help.
Even just having the investigators
Yeah.
has increased the efficiency of the office.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, it's one of those where, yes, the budget, we've increased it in '25 because we weren't sure where we were going.
Sure.
And to reduce it in '26, just because we're trying to find that fine line of, we don't know how many deaths there will be in the county.
Or the nature of those deaths.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you have a death that, and I'll give you an example. Some deaths you can go to the scene and within 2 hours you could wrap up scene investigation and have maybe an hour worth of charting, filing, that sort of thing, and then clock out on that case. You could have another scene that you have a double homicide and BCI's coming, and it can turn into a several hour or even day marathon event. Now investigators know that if BCI is coming, you have to wait for them to go through, so they may leave the scene if they have an officer or deputy posted on the scene and secure, and then come back when BCI comes back, but it can turn into a major ordeal. So it's hard to predict how many hours each case will have.
I don't have any other questions.
And the only other thing that I think we've added, and it's really not even an ad, I think it was already included, was the OSCA membership for the coroner.
And they put out next year's dues, and I think I sent that to you, Marv. $34.99 is actually for next year's dues. That is based on how they formulate that as a 4.5% of the annual salary for the coroner, and then they have a $750 educational assessment. And that's because coroners have to do certain education per the ORC. What's nice is they usually have that to include at least one staff member to go with the coroner to these things. And so what we've started to do is what many other counties have done is you'll rotate through your investigators to take them on to that event. So last year I had one of the investigators go. Next year when I go, I'll take one of the other investigators with me. And so they're getting training as well, because they actually have investigator training at the OSCA annual convention. So.
Do you have any other questions, Tony?
I don't think so. I think the biggest increase then would be in the autopsies.
Yeah,
Contract
the
services.
contract service.
And it looks
And-
pretty good.
Yeah, and then we talked about the employee salaries line.
Yeah.
It's less than it is this year. It's a guess because
Mhm.
we don't know the number of deaths. We don't know how much time you know, the investigators are gonna need. So there could be a possibility that we may have to ask for additional money next year for that, but,
Well, you can always come in
Right.
during the year and just, hey, I'm short here and here's why, and then we'll, right, Commissioner? Yes.
I think
We'll take,
getting 2 or 3 years worth of data on this approach to doing medically without
Oh,
investigation,
gosh,
we'll
yeah.
get a trend line of average, and then we'll
Mhm.
make trying to budget for that salaries, I'm sure, a lot easier
Mhm.
a year.
and the
3, 4, 5.
coroners, you know, Lucas County's, the rate from Lucas
Yeah,
County,
right.
so,
yeah, I think you're doing a great job, and I guess I've grown to appreciate better the work of the coroner, you know, there's more to it than you think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do, if doing the work and doing it right,
Yeah.
there's a lot.
Hey. So, welcome, you guys. Anything else? You good? Okay, thank you, and
Appreciate it.
we'll see you. We're gonna let the prosecutor come on.
Thanks, sir.
Yep.
See you again. I'll,
Let the two sheriffs cite, here you go, Doc, come around. Thanks.
I'll be over after 12:30.
Okay.
Okay.
Slide you down and,
Yep. Yeah, I'll move.
I don't know if that's good if you follow the coroner or not. That's how you look at that, you know? That's what it is,
I'm
right?
gonna sit over
Hi,
there.
you're gonna go over there.
Because now tell him to get the
Yeah,
corner over
yeah.
there.
Hi.
He's the brains of the operation.
So the meeting's being recorded, it's informal, it's a budget hearing, since the three commissioners are here and we're deliberating. We advertise it, it's public, and if you're bored, you can go back and watch the tape. So,
You're up.
we're waiting.
Oh, we'll wait for,
We have a fancy sheet that's in color, that's 3 years.
it's the same thing.
You guys are tight, you keep the budget.
I got rid of some of the columns from 2 or 3 years ago and said we'll just work from.
It's all good. Well, thanks for coming over. So, part of the process of these budget hearings is for us to understand a little bit your office better. I think it's been real helpful that way, when you.
Oh, certainly.
There's always more going on than maybe the commissioners realize. So I think that's been good. And, Brett, you ready?
Yeah, sorry.
Want to take us through,
Sure, just line by line or?
maybe just kind of brush through it?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Sure. Okay, so the salary for the prosecuting attorney is mandated by the commissioners,
State.
the cab.
state,
Yeah.
yeah. And
So we can't cut that.
no, you can't cut that, and that's why there's a mandated increase at COLA.
You got it.
So
Diet
that's happened-
cola.
Diet cola.
Diet Cola.
That's what they call it.
So
That's great.
from there, and then the salary for the employees, that includes the 4 at this point, support attorneys, an office investigator, and 4 support staff. Then from there, the next line is supplies. You'll see from a couple of years ago, the supply budget was $14,000 and $12,000. I'm not quite sure what was going on there. I feel like that was a lot from what at least we've spent the past year and a half that I've been around. So I try to keep it more in the $9,000 range. I think that's a realistic expectation of where we might be. And if we, of course, if we need have some grand expense, we can ask further from there. The contract for forfeited lands, that is through the foreclosure process. So we have folks write up titles, title opinions, and from there.
This would be like delinquent taxes, if you
Yeah.
go that far with it, they don't take care of it then.
Yeah.
And that's money that we get back.
Right.
Just, we need it to.
Yeah, it's the expense side, that show the revenue
Yes.
side here. Okay.
About
good.
how many a year have you done those, Derek, would you say roughly?
No idea.
No idea.
And again, we look at the, I mean, if you get the list from the auditor or treasurer, I mean, it's like 56 pages. But we don't go after them unless they're,
We did get that list.
Yeah.
we don't go after them
Took
unless.
Rover Pipeline was,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, yeah, that was.
40 million of it. That's the list you sent us, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The other thing, we
Yeah.
don't, we figure it, to do a foreclosure from start to finish, it's gonna be between, we have to publish the notification, the title searches, the court costs, all the fees, the sheriff charges. You're looking at probably $5,000, maybe 6. So we don't wanna do a foreclosure that's gonna cost more than what they owe. Because, so we normally let them get up to 7, 8, 10,000. Sometimes, if it's a property with, taxes are 240 a half, it takes a long time to get to.
What happens on a land bank property?
Well,
So is that kind of, you don't get any money for that, do you? Or do you?
no, generally, I don't think we don't get as much from a land bank property.
Because you do all of that.
Yes,
the
we
land
do.
bank property, and then the land bank gets it.
Yes, but again, we can't look at it from a.
Right, I'm just
because
curious.
We're getting rid of
Yeah.
properties that are, houses are
Yeah,
falling
there's a lot
down.
of benefits.
Yes, the community benefit of getting rid of houses that are,
Did that answer your question, Bill?
Yeah, so basically, as far as going for, but prior, anything less than that, though, you do send letters out.
Oh, we
And that
send-
comes out of this fund, and it's kind of.
yeah, we send out, depending on the year, we send out 200, 300, 400 letters.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how many of those. Now, the other thing, I paid a lot of taxes, I don't know, it was 2023 or 2024, maybe both, was WSOS. Because they had a big pile of money, and if you were delinquent on your taxes and you lived in the property,
Right.
that's the only requirement they had. So, we got paid tens of thousands of dollars from WSOS.
550, I think Paul said out of that whole deal, and that's because it's about time when the real estate taxes went up and
Yeah,
stuff
is
like
that how much
that.
it was?
They
Yeah.
kicked in them because.
Yeah, was that over 1 year or a couple
So that was
waves?
1 year, so they had COVID money, so what happened then,
Oh, yeah.
because when we got our tax, like their surrounding counties didn't get it, because then they burn all that up, so Sandusky County and ones who had to increase didn't have that avenue to send people to help cover that, so.
Yeah.
And that saved us a lot of board revision
Yeah.
stuff and,
Okay.
so.
The software license and services, I think that's at this point just in case we have some issue with our software that we need. I know before we were the office was individually in a contract with Buckeye. We don't have a separate individual contract with RCR right now. I don't know if we want to do that. I put the money in the line because it had been there for
What
years.
third-party softwares do you operate with? I know you have
There's several.
Groove.
They have to put my password in
Yeah.
front of my desk. They'll log in.
It'd be like asking, I know, it's
Yeah, you're.
Took a spot.
Yeah, I mean,
But there's some
Yeah.
stuff.
oh, yeah, and then we have LexisNexis and.
Yeah.
All, I mean,
Pro
we,
Phoenix,
all the
things
state,
like that.
yeah.
Pro Phoenix, and it's very, again, but it's people, nobody comes to me
Right.
for advice on how to log into these things. 'Cause I don't-
Commissioner Busteker's coming to you after the meeting, towards the end of the meeting. Good.
The leases, right, is where we're at now?
Yeah.
So the leases, that's strictly for our copier. We have a lease with Pro Peritech for our 2 machines that we have, one upstairs and one downstairs. And basically, we receive a bill for
The overages.
Yep, any overages. To some extent, there's a agreement between the Victim Assistance Program and the Prosecutor's Office for the shared copier, so the Victim Assistance Program will pay $300 every month, and then the Prosecutor's Office kind of takes over the rest plus any overages. 'Cause so, it tends to average out to about $900 a month, but sometimes can get higher if we're doing more color at any given time. From there, advertising for forfeited land, so that's again, whenever we have to do the forfeitures, this is for the actual advertising of it, so the publishing in the newspaper, usually things like that. And the price of that depends on which newspaper. It also depends on how many times we have to run it, things like that. The FOJ, that's from the state, and then the other two lines are the Medicare and the PER, so those are tied to salary lines.
And then you noted that the additional 27th pay, that's
Yeah.
the dollar amounts for those
For-
additionals?
yep.
Okay.
I think in the end, are we gonna take that 27th pay out? for
Yes,
final
I don't
budget?
think it will, it's not included in
In the-
his dollar amount, he
Yeah.
just gave us what the figure would be.
Yep.
But yes, the 27th
money
pay,
aside for
we
that.
have a liability, an employee liability fund that we're putting money into to pay that 27th pay. So I'm not sure how we're gonna work that, if it'll come directly out of that,
Either
or
way,
if it'll
they're
come
not-
back
it's not
into
in
their
there.
budget at sometime during the year next year. We're still, we
We're
need
gonna
to-
pay it,
Yeah, we need to figure out how we're
Figure
gonna
out those
do that
things.
part of it, so.
yeah. Okay, good. Pretty straightforward, you've been doing this a while. How's your building over there? We've got that pretty good shape.
Got a sign coming this
Sign
week.
coming.
Yeah.
And since
It's
we,
only been, how many
A
years?
while.
How many years since the old one went black?
A while.
Yeah,
A while.
yeah.
you happy with, everything, Ed and company?
Oh, yeah, it's
You're
just,
good?
yeah, it just, I mean, we had the sign that was, I mean, if you don't, I don't know
Got
if
the
you
wall
paid attention.
effects, we got
Yeah.
the sign.
Yeah,
starting to
yeah,
look-
oh, yeah. We have
Okay.
bathrooms.
Want to pick up traffic in there, right?
You got,
Put a new sign up there, right?
professional office
Right.
now.
Parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. If we could get the lights on Court Street would be nice. I don't know who's in charge of putting those posts up. but
City.
they
Come in.
City.
They got the, everything ready.
Pedestals.
Yeah.
Pedestals ready, just.
Yeah, they just have all the cones over top of all of the.
I don't know if that's gonna be the same time they put the arch in, because the arch has been delayed.
Mm.
And I believe that
Hmm.
might still be another additional month or two out.
So your salaries are current, other than his
Mhm.
Mhm.
statute, then, okay, so then we'll have a discussion on that. Okay, good.
And I don't know how much you guys know about what it's like to recruit an attorney to come to Tiffin.
Impossible.
The last, I don't know how many times we've had an opening, we've got no applicants. None, for positions. I've had to go find people. It's just.
Still like that.
Yes, and the starting pay is, again, starting pay is 60,000. We just heard today the average salary for an SSA is over 90. So you can make a lot more money being an SSA, making more money doing that than you can as a starting attorney in our office. So, and it's just, right now, we have somebody out on maternity leave, but other than that, we're good. But, when somebody leaves, it's just, again, I mean, my last recruit was from Ohio Northern, and when you're relying on me to charm somebody to come to Tiffin, it takes a little bit of luck. Got her to come for a summer, she liked it, loved it, and it worked out. But it's not an easy, not an easy thing to do. So.
How many attorneys do you have on staff?
We have 3 doing adult felony prosecution, and then Ellie does part civil, part juvenile.
Okay.
And depending on the week, 90% civil, 10% juvenile, or 90% juvenile, 10% civil. Or if you would ask her, she would say
Support staff.
90% both.
Both.
on the same day.
Right.
And one office investigator, so if you wanna-
One investigator,
Yeah.
441.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, I don't have any
The only other thing
things,
is,
we're turning over to you.
it's
Yeah.
related to computer stuff. You guys got me a sheet.
Yeah.
I know it's a pain in the butt,
Yeah.
but, I mean, this is something we have to do no matter what. Derek, I'm gonna probably send you a copy of what RCR sent to us, is their idea of a program plan, see what you think of it. There's things that's missing to what I expect into it. We did have a IT committee. Yeah, it's a WISP. We had an IT committee meeting yesterday. They presented it there. There's some things I think they need to be done different, additions. But this sheet that you guys have and all the computers that are Windows 10 and how we go about getting that updated, RCR's cost is pretty extensive to do an update for something that is really free if we did it ourselves. I don't know if your computers are administrative blocked that cannot do it. If they are, it may be one of those departments. I brought up in the meeting yesterday about having a department administrator allowing that person to be able to do that. I mean, it's sizable enough if we've got 20 computers at $600 a pop, and it's $12,000 that could be spent somewhere else. For as simple as clicking update.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely.
I don't want to do that
Yeah.
if we don't have to. But I think it has to be someone, we don't want to do that in every department. There's a few departments I think that we need to keep that, either it's temporary or it's specific people, maybe it's just you. We want to make sure that it's handled properly, not having too many people's fingers in the cookie jar. But you guys also have a couple of computers that show that are unused. What is the story on the unused computers? You guys are the only department that actually listed unused computers.
So I think the story there is 2 or 3 years ago, the municipal prosecutions was also in our office. And I think at that time, I wasn't the administrator, so I can't explain why things weren't removed. It's just a matter of things needing to be cleaned up. And
When they went to the city just bought them new computers.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we had the attorneys and the legal assistants.
Right?
Yeah.
That
I mean,
were just, I think, just left sitting on desks.
And I guess I don't know other than we just dispose them, or I don't know if they can be wiped and reused.
And that, I think, my hope, I think at this point is there's 1 or 2.
Yeah, I think you guys had one that you guys have a problem with, doesn't work.
Yeah.
And if you can get,
And then
there's,
we can.
you guys are a
take one of the
department
old
that's a
ones.
little further discussion than others. I mean, the coroner has one computer,
Yeah.
and I'm going over to spend 10 minutes with him this afternoon.
Yeah.
And then I'm done dealing with this stuff. But with having those extra computers, whether or not they qualify to be on the list for disposal, we're gonna have a disposal date. We will have our maintenance guys dispose of them. They're not personally gonna dispose of them, they're gonna take them out to a location out at the ag building, that's a locked location to put them in, so we can get all of them there, and then have the company that's supposed to come pick them up. And at the same time, someone's gotta turn in a disposable forms to both Barb and to the auditor. And then we should get a certificate of destruction back for each computer that goes away. I know every department's a little different on what's sensitive and what's not. And if that doesn't work for you guys as department, that's something we talk about differently.
In the past, we just had NOS take them home and shoot holes in them.
Yeah, and that's okay too. Somebody still wants to do that and then bring them back?
Oh, he doesn't care. He doesn't, he's fine, we're fine with it, but
Okay.
our sensitive has just been, that's how we did it in the past. So
Yeah.
we don't care.
And the reality is, if somebody wants to pull something, shoot a hole in it, bring it back, and you know it's already destroyed,
It doesn't matter.
then it goes, I don't care, as long as we know it's properly disposed of. Because a big part of the whole process of doing everything correctly is making sure that we don't have extra computers laying around that can get access.
Yep.
And once the policy and everything's put in place, there's some protocols and stuff. From our meeting yesterday, there's some new things that will probably be put into place, as well as making sure that there's some fake phishing things that are done to try to make sure people are following proper procedures and understanding. Now, what does that mean? Does that mean that somebody gets caught doing something wrong in a fake phishing? I think it puts people on notice to know, don't do that. What goes into play after that, part of their cybersecurity policy stuff that we're looking at that's why I want like for you to review it, Derek, is that way we make sure that, you know, we don't wanna have 50 people fired because they opened up an email. We need to teach them to not open that email. So that's primarily everything. So probably, I don't know if it'll be this week, next week, I wanna come over and see you guys. Maybe we get a better understanding of those computers, if they're realistically keepable, if we can keep them, if they can be wiped. Some of them look like they're old enough from
Yeah.
2018, 2019. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, and then you, like you said, you have a computer, was it Sharon's desktop that could be used for
Yeah, I think that can.
another one. So that'll be something that we need to address with RCR to get them to get that stuff swiped out. And you guys can do that on your
Yeah.
own. Now, you can put in a ticket and tell them, hey, this computer's not working. It doesn't appear that can be updated. Can we get that one swiped out? I would do that sooner than later if that person's not getting proper computer use. So I think that's primarily everything. And I think that you guys have one from victims that looks like it needs to be.
Yeah.
Do you know how many you feel that, because on victims it shows that you need one replaced,
Yep.
and you still need it replaced, right?
Yeah, and my general idea was there, and it's just because obviously when you're looking at just the inventory tag number, you don't really know. But the ones next to it seem to be, that were bought at the same time, seem to have the capability of updating, so I thought we would just
Yeah.
move one from the prosecutor over to the victim assistance.
And if we can do that,
appropriate paperwork
yep.
exchange.
The transfer,
that,
Yeah, that's ideal. If we can do as much of that kind of stuff
Yeah.
without buying more computers,
Yeah.
because the cost to replace one with their loading new, it is sizable, but we want to get this stuff done. We need to get it done sooner than later
Yep.
with everything in the way things going, so. I will try to get in contact with you and probably next week sometime, come visit with you.
Okay.
Okay.
No worries.
Good. I think that's it. We good?
He doesn't get there till about 7:10, 7:15. So just take your time in the morning.
Yeah, they'll be there.
He's probably there till 8 o'clock at night, is that
Yeah.
right? Right, yeah.
No, he's not there till 8.
The
He's
one,
the second one there.
the one thing that I will tell you, for the victim assistance side, is the health insurance cost has gone up. So I just wanted you to be aware of that, so that was budgeted,
I might have put it.
or it may have to be corrected,
Yeah,
yeah,
we'll figure it
because
out.
the numbers were put in before we got that
Yeah.
increase, so, just so that you were aware of that, so.
I don't remember if I tried to account for that or not. I usually try to just dump
Yeah,
it a little bit. just in
yeah,
case.
just to make sure, but I can take a look at that as well and, determine, if that needs to be increased or not, so.
You know, another part of the reason with this list too is even though computers may update to 11, there is gonna be a time frame how quickly we need to start changing some of those out as well. Computers that are from 2019 that can update to 11 may not last that long. We might find out next year that we can just still replace a ton of those computers, so. If we can have all the data what you guys provided, we're in better shape, so I appreciate it.
Okay, very good.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See, that's what you wouldn't have had, Derek.
I mean, yes.
I was just gonna bring it up, but this
Okay.
is right. Good.
Yeah.
So we're back, and it's now 11:17, and we're in our budget hearing. We've completed our discussion with the prosecutor. I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session to discuss pending litigation. And
Second.
invite the prosecutor and Barb.
I'll second that.
Okay, roll call?
Commissioner Paradiso,
Yes?
Commissioner Bustecker,
Yes.
Commissioner Franker,
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, we're back, it's now 11:24 PM, and I'd like to make a motion to come out of executive session. It's AM, thank you, Commissioner.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a first and a second to come out of executive session. It's still 11:24 AM, Commissioner. Roll call.
Commissioner Paradiso,
Yes.
Commissioner Bustacker.
Yes.
Commissioner Frank.
Yes.
Okay, we're out of the executive session, no decisions were made, and we are getting ready to welcome our third guest today, to be the clerk of court, Stephanie Heck. So we'll just take a couple second break, and then we'll meet. Thank you.
Uh-oh, Barb.
What?
Did you print this?
I did. Did I
Did you type it?
No,
Did you didn't type?
I just pulled it out. Yeah, that's not me.
That's not you?
That is not me. I
Uh-oh.
just pull it out of off of a spreadsheet. That is not me. That is, so I'll have to talk to Chantel over there at the auditor's office and get
Good
that
morning.
Good
correction.
morning, good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing well, how are you all?
Very good.
Very good.
Great. About all the things.
Waiting on Tony.
Okay, yep. Figured I'm here. a little
Are
bit.
you on audio now?
Yes.
Okay. So since we can just quickly do the stuff, because you and I have already talked mostly about all the IT stuff.
Yes. Mhm.
From yesterday from that meeting, I did send you guys all a copy of that list.
Yes.
Please take a look at that, think of some things if you think that it's not the way you think it should be and whatnot. They did write into that to not give administrative privilege, more or less in departments. I think some departments, you know, you might need that, whether they like
Thankfully,
that or
I was able
not.
to do the updates.
Yeah, I mean, and you have,
Hey, good morning, oh, thank you so much.
you have a couple computers, I think, now that
Yeah.
can't be
There's
updated.
a few that can't be updated, but we do have replacements once HP does the warranty for one of the motherboards.
for one of the
So we'll be
two.
able to switch those out, and then I think the only one that needs to go,
Okay.
well, the one that can't be.
So, and here's the other
upgraded.
thing, you know, after we talked yesterday about it, and I don't think we wanna do that department to department, but if you're really in love with that
No,
laptop.
I'm not.
Well, the only
It's
reason I
just-
say
It's
that-
just so nice.
I know.
It's just so nice.
But in reality is, you could use that for the next year for $61. You could use it the following year for another, I think it's like 120.
120, yeah.
I think they
and,
did it for
I mean,
3
It
years.
would be, you know,
Yeah.
And-
I used it when we were behind in the office as
Oh.
far as, training and whatnot. We're good. We're in a good place. I have staff who's excelling, and so
Well, the good
I
part
don't need
about that
And I don't
is-
have to work from home
That's
on the
a good-
weekends
that's a
or
good-
at
that's a-
night.
that's a
So-
good thing.
But I'm
Yes,
not
it's
opposed
good.
to certain people, like in your situation, where it's not the highest priority, but you can use it.
Right.
And instead of going and buying a new computer for that purpose,
Yeah.
we get the extended warranty for a couple of years.
Yeah, I won't.
And
need
then
a
you have to worry about
replacement on it.
updating onto a new computer, because we have to put all that into it.
Give it somebody else.
Yeah,
Well, that's what, yeah.
so, yeah, so right now, so you'd think that laptop's a non-issue to even need it right now?
I don't, we have two,
Okay.
and so I don't think I need the one. The only thing is, when we had those iPads from the Board of Elections and stuff, I use it in the legal department because we could only get 2 channels. I use it in the legal department as just like a staff morale, we play music on that, like from the radio.
Well,
So I didn't know if that was an option with that
The-
computer to do it in the title department, because they too only
If
have
it's a
2.
standalone, I don't think it,
so hold on, so those iPads,
Mhm.
that's what you'd want to be able to use something for us, must do the same if you want to be able to play music or something.
Yeah, that's what we're
'Cause
using the iPad for.
we
I got it
have
from
one
around.
underneath my desk right now that could be repurposed out for that purpose.
If that's,
Okay, because I have no use for that.
that's what I'm using it for.
And right now,
Is that
it seems to be everything that's Apple is no part of this discussion, that if that can be transferred,
Yeah.
I don't see any reason not to.
I can do
Yeah.
the paperwork and.
Yeah, the only reason that I said about the laptop is just because it's so nice.
I
It looks
know.
like it's brand new.
And again,
But
you
it's
know,
not.
that was the thing in that discussion yesterday,
know.
that when we're talking about if it can't go to Windows 11, there is a time period that it will need to be disposed of.
Yeah, that's okay.
But
We can
if
dispose
that is good,
Mhm.
and you can get away with using it the next couple of years, it is a sizable savings to not have to worry about that right now.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, it's
Okay.
okay. All right.
Your budget's on autopilot. When did you start, just for the record? When was your first day?
I was appointed on, and took office on June 1st of 2023. That was my first day
Yeah.
as clerk of courts.
Yeah.
So
Good.
I can't wait to share with you all the things that I have.
Oh, good.
You're up.
Okay. You want me to just,
Sure, right in.
Going
dive
right
in. Dive right on in.
You know, the part of the, we say, I've said this every time, but the purpose of the meeting is for us to get to know your department too. This is
Mm-hmm. Okay.
really a
perfect,
very educated cating for the commissioners.
great.
Understand all
Hopefully
the things you
education
do.
for you and for
Yeah.
the public as far as what we're doing to try and
Right, meetings
recoup
recorded.
and contribute to the general fund to
That's great.
run our office. So I have quite a few things here. So I know that what I had submitted for salary line, I did not include any increases in that. How I came up with that number was based off of those who came off of probation. Since I've taken office, I have not had a chief deputy, and I think it's time for us to get one for the office, for the legal department. We have one for title department. I think it's important that when I'm not there, whether I'm at a medical appointment or, you know, on a trip
Conference or
with my
something,
family or
yeah.
a conference and stuff,
Vacation,
there's
yeah.
somebody there that they can go to, that this person is in charge of making decisions while I'm gone. So I think that it's vital for our office, because there are a lot of,
So you have the chief deputy for
I do.
title?
Yes,
And
yep.
then this would be,
And there had been in the past,
Okay.
Jean and Janet retired at the same time.
Yeah.
Janet was our chief deputy, and since then, we have not had one, you know, feeling out the office, getting people acclimated,
Yeah.
trained and whatnot, and I think it's time that we do that, and whether that's next year. That's what I had figured in for that. And then, in the clerk's office, we're keeper of the records, we have so long to process the paperwork. Stuff should be processed within 3 days of it being file stamped. So there had been some overtime in there, and that's where some of the money had come from as well, those figures.
so does this look like the chief deputy, it would be, to me, it looks like it's not an additional person, it's just a
It's just
pay
additional
increase.
pay increase for the.
And
Yes.
responsibility,
Yes.
and, okay,
Mhm.
yeah, and that's what that difference is.
Mhm.
I understand.
Right.
Thank you.
Yes, so that's where that came from. So I did not figure any raises for staff in there. I just figured in for a chief deputy, and I went off of the average overtime that we had for the year to figure out that money needed for those instances as well. We may not use it, but in case we do run into a situation where we have a stack of paperwork and we need it filed, it's there. And then my leasing line was more. So in 2023, for our lease line, we were actually paying, it looks like $322 a month, and then halfway through the year, it went up to $328. Well, I think it was 2024 when I redid the lease agreement, and we were able to drop that down to approximately $250, $260 a month. So what we were doing in 2023 is we were not overpaying, but we were paying for more copies that we weren't using. So we went down in our copy amount, and if there's an overage, we pay not even pennies on the dollar. It's less than a penny per page. So I have here, you know, copy or lease March 2025 and overages. It was $269. So I mean, we pay $10 to $20 a month for overages.
Which
for
is
copy
which is
fees,
better
which is
than
better than
paying
what
the-
over.
the-
Yeah, so that's what we're doing. differently. I did on this budget go a little bit higher because we did implement e-filing, electronic filing.
Okay.
So that's new for us. So they submit their filings electronically through our case management system, and then we have to print them currently. So we print them for the case file and we print them for service. So those are additional copies. So that's why I went a little bit larger on the lease
'Cause there
line to
could be
cover
a
those. It
overage.
could be.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to suss it out since that just became a thing in July. I do anticipate in the future, I don't have a timeline on it as far as years and whatnot, but I would say, I don't want to put a timeline on it. Near future, I would say that we should be paperless. So therefore, we would not have file folder costs, which is very costly, and we would not have copy costs. So I think that going forward, and I'm not going to put a year on it, but in the future.
Don't even do that.
Basically, I couldn't work for you.
So, yeah, in the future,
I can't wait.
I see those costs going down, but I did want to figure them in now until we get the e-filing works figured out and stuff, and kind of figure out how that much will cost. So those are the lines that I had done more for, and then I wanted to kind of bring up what our office does to contribute to the general fund, because there's a lot of counties that don't do these things. They can, but they don't. We do. It's extra work on us, but we're finding ways to bring income in. So in 2024, fall of 2024, I worked with the prosecutor and the judges to create a judgment entry and whatnot. It's already in the ORC for us to be able to collect poundage on things we handle as like a bank. You know, if we take a super CDS bond and we're acting as the bank, we're holding that and then we're distributing it. So we get a poundage on that. Foreclosure cases, if a case sells or a home sells and it's more than what the debts are that's owed, we have to hang on to that money and then distribute it to whoever is, you know, the owner of that money. So we get a poundage on that. So we were able to implement, since we weren't doing that in the past, we are doing it now. And just from fall of 2024 to now, with that poundage, we have collected $1,820.93. That is something that we wouldn't have had in the past. And now we are collecting on that. So it's just an extra cost. 4D monies, so that's the contracts through CSEA, the federal grant monies. We don't have to do that, but we do that because we can bring in, supplement the general fund a lot. So years 2014 through 2021, we were looking at $3,000 to $5,000, and then we redid our contracts and the way that we charge as far as using just regular judgment entries that come through our office, plus everything that goes through the judge's office, through the Supreme Court. And now we get approximately $17,000 to $20,000 a year that we supplement the general fund with. That's a lot of money.
It is.
And that's a lot of work for our office, and we're willing to do it because we want to contribute.
When did that start?
It looks like my figures go back to 2014. So in 2023, we brought in $20,487.18. 2024, we brought in $18,311.12. And so far in 2025, with this contract, we've been able to bring in $14,696.64 for the general fund. So this is a nice way that we can contribute. And not all counties do that. There are some clerk's offices that don't decide to do this. So that's one thing that we do to contribute. For our costs, we keep the records, we take in all the cases, and then at the end we figure them, and then we bill them out. Some people pay, some people don't. If they don't pay, they get turned over to Capital Recovery Systems. They're a collection agency. They work on our behalf. They get paid at the very end, and it gets charged to the case as a cost. It's not a fee that we pay. So with using them, in 2024, we were able to recover $20,147.32 of uncollected court costs through them. And then so far in 2025, using Capital Recovery, we've been able to recover $17,437.56. When we converted to the new case management system in 2022, we lost that ability to turn over those costs, and we were able to see how much we lost of income. So last March 2024, myself and a few of the other deputy clerks in the office worked together to manually submit them to start collecting on those. So that's when we saw these numbers jump up again. We also, so not every county does a capital either, capital recovery collections or attorney general and whatnot. So that's another way that we're able to get those funds back into the county, collect on those uncollected court costs. Prison collection, not every county does that either. Sometimes they wait for them to get out of prison in hopes of collecting on them. No, we bill the prison. We attempt to collect on that, whether it's a $5 order from the judge or their family's paying on it or whatnot. We attempt to collect on those prison collections. So in 2024, we collected $19,658.32 by billing prison. And so far in 2025, not that high of a number. We've collected $8,407.69. That is money that if we didn't do this, we would not see. And possibly when they get out, not be able to collect on either because it may be hard to find. We are throwing around the idea at the new year. I go to the monthly meetings for OCCA and we all put our heads together. That's where we came up with the poundage thing and stuff. So I've gotten a lot of great things from that. Another neighboring county, we currently don't allow family members to enroll in a pay plan for the defendant who's incarcerated, just because we had been burned on that before. You know, they pay $10 and then they'd never come back, and then we're not getting anything. A neighboring county will say, okay, we'll do a pay plan with you if you pay half of their court costs, and then you pay this monthly. So we're thinking about putting that in place. Yeah, for family members to be able to do that instead of taking their commissary. So that's something that I believe that we're going to put in place at the beginning of January. So that's work too, you know, because we bill the prison, then they call and say, I don't want you to take their commissary, I'll pay it. Okay, I'll enter into that pay plan. Then we have to tell the prison to stop, they're going to pay on it. If they don't, start the rebilling over, print the certified copies of their cost bill, their judgment, and to rebill the prison. So it is timely, but we're willing to do that work. So that's the figures that we brought in from capital recovery and prison collections. And then I wanted to share with you one last thing. We used to do, we do sealings and expungements for criminal cases. You know, they have to meet the requirements by the Ohio Revised Code of what things are able to be sealed or expunged. We have noticed an influx just because the law has changed. So with that being said, we used to send all of those entries to at least 8 to 10 agencies by certified mail. That's very costly. You know, we're talking $120 a case. So we're hemorrhaging money. So with working with prosecutor's office and the judge's office and the local agencies, we've been able to start emailing them these and getting notification of that. And so I just wanted to give a number, an average, an estimate. So far this year, 18 cases have been granted, and we have 13 pending. That's 31 cases so far in the year 2025. At $120 a piece to send them out by certified mail, that is $3,720 being saved in postage. That's huge. So we're doing lots of good things in the clerk's office and trying to change procedures, save costs, cut costs, figure out better procedures and whatnot to be able to help the county and our constituents that we serve. So,
Jeez, thank you, that's good, that's rough.
Yeah.
$60,000 a year.
So I did have, we were able to take our pay-in, because we pay in certain things to the general fund between what our office collects for the county and then also different fines and whatnot. And what we've paid in from 2023 to present to the general fund is $399,613.09. Alone in 2025, we paid in $140,099.33. So I feel as if our office is contributing to the general fund. I hope you feel the same way.
Any comments from
Put a
you?
lot of question on that. I'm glad you brought that, because it's like, boy, are we gonna keep that office open? Save for another year, Stephanie, good job.
Stephanie,
No, nice job putting that
really,
together,
really
yeah.
nice job, yeah.
Hopefully I painted a picture for you as far as what our office does and what we contribute. And I'm hoping for my staff members that we'll be able to get a raise this year for them. They do a lot of good work, a lot of hard work.
Yes.
I did see that the minimum wage has been bumped up to $11 starting in 2026. So I want to fight for my staff members. They deserve it. They do a lot of hard work.
Good.
Helping keep the Justice Center afloat and process all the paperwork and whatnot.
Yeah, no, you just, it's really-
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank
With
you.
with regards to
Glad we
line
did
items,
this.
does anybody have any other questions?
She made it pretty easy. Just
He's not with their squad.
Barb, you good?
I'm good. The only thing, the numbers that you had in the description, for Medicare OPERS salaries, that's the additional 27.
That is the 27th pay.
Okay.
Yes, that is. And then speaking of expenses or whatnot, I did bring some bills as far as what our office looks, I mean, what we ask for. We really try to work in those means and whatnot. If a CPO is denied and sealed, we take everything out of that case file and we clip it together and we reuse that case file because they are $1.83 a piece. So just an order we put in on April this year for, we have 750 file folders, and that's split up between different case types. That was $1,372.50. So it's quite costly, but like I said, near future, I'm not gonna put a date on it. We may be paperless, so we may see this cost go away as well.
Engineer Zimmerman's nodding, he loves this
Thank
big
you for
frugal
nickel and
budget.
diming.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
no,
what we do.
we're
Good job,
constantly
nickel and
trying,
diming.
yeah, we're
R
trying
stands
to.
for frugal.
Well, we really appreciate it.
Yeah, that, the.
And there's a
electronic-
grant,
yeah.
and you apply for a grant or two once in a while, don't you?
I have not
You've done
personally
that right
applied for
before
one.
Jean left?
Jean did the
apply
big
for a grant,
technology.
The
Really
technology
big one.
grant, yes.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that I wanted to touch on. With that grant money,
Yeah.
it purchased our server for our case
Was it like
management system.
400,000 or something? It was a big.
That was
It
a
was
big,
large.
it was a
It was
very
large.
large grant there.
It doesn't matter, but.
I think just under 300,000 is the
300
grant, I
maybe.
believe so. With that grant, we had to purchase a server for our case management system. Gotta have it.
Yeah, of course.
It was paid with grant monies. It's now been 5 years. That
Yeah.
server needs replaced. It expires February of 2026. So I crunched some numbers and I'd seen where we were at and whatnot. I didn't feel comfortable this year asking for that server money because it was also like, oh, it's been 5 years, I didn't realize that. And it's an unrealized cost for
You guys can.
everybody here. So I'm going to absorb through my funds the server cost for this year. So for 2026, it'll last for 5 years, and then I'll be looking for money in 2026, or 5 years from 2026. I'll be looking for the funds for the server. I don't know if at that point if I will be able to cover it again, but I may ask for help in the future. So I'm going to split that between 1148, which is the clerk's computerization research fund, and the 1168, which is the general special projects foreclosure fund. So a small portion is coming out of 1168, the larger portion out of CCR. So,
Very good.
What do you expect the cost on that to be? Have you already looked at it?
as of right now, the cost for that server is $25,000, and it lasts for 5 years. So we're looking at $5,000 a year to be able to, I know there's other software licenses and whatnot that are on top of that as well, so.
Okay. Brad, that's in your department. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You happy with your building? Everything working
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, everything's
Good.
working well, and, yep.
We asked those are loaded questions, Bill, this year because we know everything's better. We always cringed 2
Yeah.
years ago to ask that
Yeah.
question because it was pretty
No, things
pretty
are
crazy.
nice.
But put a lot of effort.
Very nice,
into it.
convenient and whatnot, with everybody being in the same building. I think that helps, you know, at least somebody comes in and they're at the wrong office. It's just, hey, go down the hall and go to
Right,
the second
yeah.
floor versus go down the street,
Mhm.
you know, so.
Absolutely. Well, hey, thank you.
More questions?
I don't have anything.
Anything else
You're
I can
good.
answer
Just
for
have an
you?
informal working meeting and.
You're gonna have to follow Stephanie again because.
We got 5 minutes on Mark. Mark's gonna be done in 5 minutes.
Do you do the finances at home with your hubby?
Yeah.
I should be the one that would sit down with your hubby and say, this is how this is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you've got a good knack for that.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
You bet.
Let me know if I can answer any more questions.
Hey, so we're in a recorded budget hearing. This is informal.
Very break.
We saved the best for last, I mean, literally
I
last.
am the
literally
last.
think this will
Next
be,
round.
you know, the quickest one we've had, so.
And good to see you, engineer.
Thank you very much. So glad to be here.
So part of the, not only go.
And you did your hair for us too.
I did. Hey, I was out on my bridge this morning.
Let me see your boots. You got your boots on?
No, they're all muddy.
They're all muddy. They're all muddy.
I got the clods off
He's
before I.
good, so.
But don't, your parking lot.
Well, in addition to the, the money, which is obviously, something that commissioners are responsible for in the end, but we also, it's educational. You heard Stephanie.
Yep.
And so maybe there's some things about tax map we don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe you could give us a little overview of.
Of what we do?
Yeah.
Sure.
I think to start, and then you guys can, anybody can ask any question they want, but I'm enjoying it because I'm learning a lot.
Yeah, so tax map department is the department where all transfers of deeds and real estate initiate. We are responsible for providing the map that the auditor uses for taxing. So the accuracy of that map and the detail of that map, which has improved steadily over the years, is what all of you and all of us are now taxed on. So deeds come in, transfers come in, we make sure that transfers and deeds follow minimum standards, specifically our local conveyance standards and section 6133 of the Ohio Revised Code, which sets the minimum standards for boundary surveys in the state of Ohio. Shelley Mack in my office, she does all of the deed research and all of the deed review. I say all, but it's her position. Sam does help with that side sometimes too, to ensure the compliance of our local conveyance standards in 6133, so that when people do transfer property, they know what they're buying and they know what they're selling. And which, years ago, we went to the Rock, we went to the woods, and neighbors talked to each other, and they were friends. And it actually used to be a thing where years ago farmers would walk their fence lines every year and address issues with the fence, with the trees, with these things. That no longer happens, and a half an inch is a big deal today. So we do go out and, not in the field, but on the mapping system, ensure compliance with those regulations. After they're done with the review, a lot of those are review that go to regional planning, so to the auditor's office, which is our first step. After that processing goes through, if the transfer of real estate does happen, if it's a split, then Sam in my office, we use ArcPro, modern GIS software, to not only publish that new parcel populated with its data, but then we also publish the mapping system that we have online that people use for research. We have also started not only mapping all the parcels, but also all of the surveys. So if there are surveys in each section of land, that's, if you wanted to find an old survey of your property, surveyors use those to find old monumentation on the roadway systems. And we maintain that so that not only our surveyors, but also our landowners can find information readily and easily. So they do that as well. So I maintain the website, but they provide me all the data. So that is the primary function of tax map office. We try to stay in our lane. We provide, services as much as we can with the landowners, but our job is specific to ensuring that we are following Ohio law when it comes to real estate and property transfer. Of that, we have just 2 employees, Shelley Mack and Sam Miller. Shelley has been with us for, I think, 2 years now, Sam for 4, and they do a great job. I don't know, there was a thing when I moved them out to my office, it was just gonna be temporary. But over the years, running up here every time there was a problem or landowner had an issue or there was a question on interpretation, the law is not finite, right? I mean, there's interpretation in here, and we do everything we can to ensure that we follow the minimum standard but have reasonableness in what we do. So having them out there, I never intend to, not while I'm here, move them back. I think everybody has gotten used to it. Lawyers, no one complains anymore.
You sit in your office, that little conference
They
room
sit
there.
at the end, your end, yeah.
Way back.
So if you go past
That's
the
right.
conference room, there's a whole office back there.
And where all your apps.
Yep,
Yeah.
right with all the mapping. So,
Yeah.
surveyors
You
come
have
in.
signed tax.
Yeah, you got it. Surveyors have,
I know where it is.
they come in, everything's a one-stop shop now, where it used to be, they still have to come up here and then go out there, and then sometimes back up here again, back out there again, so, but yeah, that's what we do, and proud of what we do. So,
Yeah.
as far as our budget, I think all I put in for next year is a 3% increase. Did I even do that?
No, you didn't even do that?
Okay, so I looked at my budget, and I think we have enough in our existing budget to absorb a 3% increase, so I didn't ask for anywhere. I did ask, and I know that and if it's not okay, that's fine, but I will send the girls a training every year. And I know you guys have that, but instead of asking you for it then, I'm just asking for it now. If that's an issue, then we can take that out, but I do send them to the Land Records Conference every year, just to make sure that we're staying up on current standards.
For you, this is a side question, going back 2-3 years in the regional planning. You said those Tuesday meetings, is that what it is?
Yeah, we do not have any meetings anymore.
So now it's just
everything's
kind of
online.
smooth.
Yeah,
It's all
everything's
online and everybody can see,
Yep.
because that was nobody could see where their
Yeah, whatever.
job was or
Yeah,
their project was.
it's seamless
You would know,
now.
Bill, but I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
Because I haven't been in regional planning for a little
Yep,
bit.
it's completely seamless. It's
all going well.
Each, department does his or her own thing.
And I don't know why that used to be kind of top secret, but
Yeah,
now
I don't know.
it's transparent now, everything.
As far as I know, I mean, I don't know if I've been everybody.
I mean,
So,
I started back when I transferred some ground and go down to the Tuesday meetings,
Yeah.
so, it was
Tuesday
just good
meetings.
meetings, but I mean, that was back when Paul ran and stuff.
Yeah.
After him,
Right.
It wasn't bad at all, but.
and that was
seems to be
before.
now-
Now, yeah.
Before computers were as good as they are, before
Yeah.
we had the kind of access we have today, everybody's got access today.
Does the
so-
auditor use the same software and tax map that you use?
Yeah.
for-
Yeah, so, yeah, so-
that's happened in the last.
Yeah, so her map
Yeah.
that she has is my map.
Okay. so
They don't
that's an-
recreate
that's an
that is my
improvement.
And I think that was a little bit of the issue with
It was.
a few years ago, because regional planners wanting their own.
Yeah.
You and Julie had, and it was
I think
like,
there were
let's
3
put
maps,
together.
though.
There
They
were.
tried to come up with a
Regional planning had
GIS person for each, yeah, it was
Yeah.
kind of a,
No,
Yeah.
it's one
back to
map.
one map
One map.
and everybody's in the lane.
Yeah,
and-
even though I have my tax map online, which has all the property records and information, and then she has all the tax and sketches and all the stuff on her site, her map is my map. So her CAMA data, we ensure every week that whether they're old parcel numbers or new parcel numbers, that parcel number match that we do, so there's a mismatched parcels, so I mean, it's easy to, to have 13-digit number, it's easy to type something in wrong. But we go through all the mismatches and make sure that those are all corrected, and then we publish every week. And then Ivy has access to that data for whenever, I think they may do it monthly or quarterly, I'm not sure. But
sure either.
it's the exact same map. So we provide that map to the auditor's office, that is our job.
In a short time being here, we've gotten way more efficient.
Yeah.
Like in the last 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, everything's online now. People,
Everything
we
seems
have
way better.
reduced foot traffic by 75% by putting things online.
Surveyors love it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it. Yeah. We have all of our monumentations online now, every,
Cost of surveys didn't go down.
cost survey keeps going up. Yeah, but, yeah.
And they.
Yeah, I mean, there are fewer and fewer surveyors,
That's what it is.
and, you know, it's a market where if you're gonna sell land, if you're gonna transfer land, you're probably gonna need a survey. And
Absolutely.
so, you know, when demand's high and supply's low, it's
Yep.
simple economics.
Trying to find attorneys for Seneca County too.
There you go.
They told us, yeah.
They're building pretty good out there.
Oh, we're fine.
We've done some.
Yeah, yeah, Everett, roof was the big thing, which
Generator,
happened
roof.
years ago. There's been zero issues. He worked on the HVAC, which is finally working better. The air conditioner and heater don't fight all year long. Heater's on some middle of summer, air conditioner's on in the middle of winter.
Yeah.
That happened for probably 5-6 years.
So we got
So
that.
finally got it good.
Yeah, that's like, I don't understand. That's the way it's supposed to be. It's called climate control. That's called a waste of money to me.
Right.
So it's 10 degrees outside, the air conditioner's running. It's
Yeah.
like, well, it's keeping your building. Like, no, I said, let it go down a little bit, the heat will come back on, it'll get warmer, then it'll get a little cooler, then it'll get a little warmer. We're okay with that. That's the way my house is, that's the way your house is. Everyone's used to that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I think the flooring for the vestibule is gonna be
Okay,
taken care of.
that one piece of tiling area.
Yeah, I
so,
think
yeah.
I think we're gonna take care of
Okay.
that for you, so that'll help with traffic coming in and
Okay,
out, so.
yeah, because I think some of those are peeling up.
Yeah.
We showed them, we've got
Yeah.
carpets over them now, it's just, you know, and, you know, we got the automatic doors now, which are nice. It's surprisingly how many, you know, handicap, whatever,
Yeah.
handicap people
Yeah.
come in my office, that, you know, we used to have to run and get the door, and now it's like.
Just push a button and they can come out,
Nice.
Yep.
okay?
Good.
So, yeah, we have zero issues with anything,
Okay.
but I'm pretty easy to please.
So while you're sitting there, it's 12 o'clock, and you're supposed to be starting now.
Okay.
We're wrapping up. Can you give us a high-level sewer update without numbers?
Yeah, so.
Because you're running the sewer department, right?
Yeah, so every district,
Put you on the spot.
is in really good shape, except New Riggle. I do not know why, but yesterday I got an email from Tasha at the auditor's office that billing to Fostoria is 30,000 higher at this point this year than it was last year. With all the work we've done.
To the
I
sewer.
do
Wow.
not know where this water is coming from. We have cambered the entire system. Cannot find any major, you know, we did not camera it, of course, while it's storming. You can't
Right,
run the camera through while it's full. We got a leak. You know, I don't know if it's somebody or if everybody, you know, throughout the years has tapped their downspouts in. I can track, and I have tracked over the years, that when we have a rainy month, it's 3 times higher than it was during, you know, it'd be 3 times higher in May than it is in August. And there aren't any more people there. I do not know why. So we are putting that money in place. We're stealing it from the general sewer fund right now, because we
So
are
we have,
budgeted tight.
we did the grant.
Mhm.
And the grant discusses sleeving pipe and things like that, but
Yep.
it didn't identify specifically where any problems were.
Correct. We camera the entire system so that we
Okay, so
could
maybe
identify those
update the
areas.
commissioners on this. It's been
So
a 5-year
we,
plan.
yeah, we applied in '22 for a water sewer grant, which we got $120,000 to put together.
Yeah, I
Just
went
for-
out with you guys.
Yeah, that's
Or I
right.
met out there when you
Yeah.
guys went out with them.
And we have a plan for it. The plan is not going to help with flows. That's an internal thing to the village. I mean, that's them. That's them. But we have enormous costs in maintenance of the 2 pump stations. So we have plans on completely redoing the pump stations, bringing them up to modern specifications, all stainless steel bolts, stainless steel pipe, just,
It wasn't there a bunch of rusted stuff?
yeah. And that's why we're
Controls.
switching all the controls. You know, the hydrogen gas that's coming up through the pump stations eats the, you know, it's one of those things where the design of the system was poor. It was installed that way. It was not the county's. We did not do that. Not me, not my predecessor. We had nothing to do with that. But we inherited it. And ever since, I've been trying to find a way to make things better. So we looked at possibly applying for money through OPWC, through small governments, for New Riggle. I'm the chairman of the board of the state for that, but I had to tell myself, through our rules, since the county owns it, New Riggle's not eligible, unfortunately. So there was no hope there.
Explain how we own it, just for historical.
Yeah, so back in 2014,
Bascom,
we were building Bascom. The Bascom was under orders to have a package plant built. At the time, the only pot of money that existed was USDA, rural development, and they would loan you money. Well, New Riggle had a loan from USDA rural development that they defaulted on. They just refused to pay the loan. They quit paying it. And USDA said, hey, we'll make you a deal. Well, it was no deal, it was blackmail. That they said, we will fund Bascom if you take New Riggle. If you don't take New Riggle over, then we aren't gonna give you any money for Bascom, and you're gonna be out of compliance with the EPA, and you're gonna start eating fines every day. So we had no choice but to take over New Riggle. So we took over their debt, we took over their equipment, took over their facilities, and in one day, we owned New Riggle facilities and knew nothing really about it. Ever since then, we have been trying to reduce costs. The average cost for a user in New Riggle is almost 3 times higher than it is for anybody else, anywhere. And we went as far as looking at building our own plant. That is what this grant started as.
What was sort of the possibility to take it to Bascom?
Yeah, so herein lies the problem, is that they still own over $1 million on their existing loan. And anything we build is going to have, if we were to build a new plant, which EPA ended up saying, no, we can't, because they like regionalization. So pump it to Bascom instead. Well, that's gonna be about $2 million worth of pipe work, which means we need $2 million more worth of loan. So now we have to jack the rates up even higher for the next 30 years. 30 years from now, the rates will go to near zero. But that's 30 years from now. And there's no way we can endure that kind of pain. That's the problem we have, is that any major thing we do that will long-term reduce costs will increase costs today, unless we can find money. Now, we have applied for, and we are right at the top of the list this year, of getting DEFA, I don't even know what DEFA stands for, EPA loan. But we also applied for principal forgiveness for that loan. So basically, if we get the loan, because the rates are so high in New Riggle, they will forgive the loan, basically turning it into a grant. If we get that, then we'll be able to do all of this work for near free. Free, of course, but no additional cost to the citizens of New Riggle. That does not address what I found out yesterday. I just found out yesterday, so.
Didn't we talk about sleeving in the village itself?
Yes. Yes.
And that may or may not.
Well, that's where, and we may have to wait till we get a rain event and buy a camera and destroy it.
So I see what you're saying.
It's the only way to know.
Two separate issues.
Two separate issues.
And this, yeah, I understand.
Two separate issues. And so we have every intention of, finding leaks and sleeving them, but the only way to find the leak is wait until it's pouring down rain, which is the time you can't find the leak, because you can't run your machine through it.
Yeah.
But I have popped every manhole in that village after a rain, looking for a manhole that is just flooded, right? Just like, this is somewhere from here back is where it's happening.
Yeah.
So going to Fostoria, what kind of line, is that, I assume it's a new line?
Yeah, it's everything new. 2008 it was built, 2014 is when we took it over.
Yep.
So it's all PVC, it's a 10-inch line. It was built, the whole system was built for Farmland Foods when that existed there. Not to put blame on anybody or anything, but the system was built because there was an industry in New Riggle that required it. They left right when it got done. They were supposed to pay over 50% of the cost of this entire system. And when they left, New Riggle had to get more loan, get more everything.
They didn't even pay they didn't pay the first month.
Not a dime.
Yeah,
Not a
they had
dime.
30 days before. So one of if there is a positive, the line from New Myrtle to Fostoria, if the commissioners own that line, if a housing project or an industrial project, anyone wanted to tap into that line,
It's right there.
along the way, it's already there.
Yep.
So we have sewer, and this has been discussed
Hmm?
for several years in any housing, anything, that, and then 224, 23 intersection, on in, that's where that line is. So there is sewer there, and that's always a big obstacle to any development.
What's the capacity? I mean, 10 inches.
Massive.
Okay.
It only needs a
so
6.
6, okay.
So
there's
we're
room to-
over 3
there's
times the
additional-
capacity we had.
Yeah, so so more taps would help offset some costs.
Absolutely.
Because I remember one or two of those businesses at 223 or somebody
Mm-hmm.
closed, and when you only have 6 people paying,
Right.
I remember one closed, we had to raise the rates, like, because you just have to divide it by who's left.
Yeah.
Well, if we added 2 or 3 taps,
So-
so we have some possibilities there.
Let me ask you about Bloomville
Mhm.
and all their stuff.
Yes.
Where's the status on all that?
So Bloomville built their plant in 14, and it did not pass. They could not get a water test to pass after the first time they opened the plant.
From the day
So they have been under orders to fix it. They can't get it fixed. There's a survey going on right now, and Bloomville applied for OPWC funding to help, that they're gonna be pumping Datica. So they're gonna abandon their plant, and, which means, they say they're gonna own the line going through the townships. I don't know how a village owns infrastructure through a township. I have a feeling within a number of years, we are gonna end up owning that facility as well. I don't know that for sure. I don't know how that works, but.
So example would be City of Clyde. They actually own, because they go from Clyde to Green Springs.
Yeah.
So the City of Clyde,
Do they own that
They own
line?
that
Okay,
line.
so maybe it's not a big deal.
yeah.
Maybe it's not a big deal
So
then.
then Green Springs has, and that's what they're working with now, is agreement with Clyde and stuff, because they
Okay.
do both the water and the sewer and stuff
All right.
on that then. So yeah, but the City of Clyde does own
Okay.
that line.
So, yeah, hopefully Bloomville just owns it, and they,
But they do have a solution.
They just
to
take-
the-
So they have found
Sewer.
some grant funding that will hopefully.
yeah, so, well, most of it's loan money,
Right.
some, but they are actively doing the survey right now. They plan on being in construction, a year from now.
They scored really high, so we.
Yeah.
Yeah, I spent some time out there with the mayor and Levi out there a little bit,
Okay.
and just to see where they're at.
Yeah.
Because they got quiet to
Yeah.
me, so
Okay.
I didn't get to hear that much, so I figured you would know.
Yep,
So on rates, and we'll just wrap up, but we have an automatic 3% increase in all 5 sewer districts.
Right.
Unless you come and.
they say we don't
recommend
need one, right?
Okay.
We have some work we're doing, I have a contractor lined up and PO's in place for doing some work on a broken line in Hammer Heinsman. It's only about 7,000, so we don't get anything crazy. Hammer Heinsman and Honey Creek are the perfect example, even though they're small plants, is that once something's paid for, rates are very, very low, once we're just in a maintenance schedule. But loans, they kill you. These loans they're killers.
So on the increase, just so I'm clear, after 7 years, we don't do anything unless, in other words, it automatically goes up. The only time we would take action is to waive the
Right,
increase.
right.
So
Yeah,
if
and
we
they-
don't, if we have no discussion up here, they go up.
Yep.
Or there'll be 1 or 2 that you say.
That we have a resolution to say don't. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
perspective wise, the only thing we increase, so Brad Bohr is our sewer operator. I give him a 3% raise every year. I took over the sewer district in 2007. I have not had a raise since. So I'm just saying that because I'm getting paid, same, I got paid 2007, and things cost more than in 2007. But I don't want anyone saying that I'm profiting off of raising rates, because I'm not. So when we're raising rates, it's because we need the money just to operate the sewers.
Well, yeah, when you get a $30,000 increase.
Yeah, from Fostoria, and
And Fostoria's working with us on the rate.
Yeah, so they were at 150%, they went to 125 years ago. Tony and I did that.
So if you live in the city, you
That
pay
was-
this rate.
so-
If you live outside the city limits, you pay 150%.
Yeah, I do that for Tiffin, I mean, I pay 100,
Yeah.
150%.
But Fostoria worked with us, Mark, and they charge 101.25, they split the difference, which is huge,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah.
But it seems like every time we find a way to cut a cost,
Something else happens that.
something else happens there, it's like, Jesus Christ, I'm like, oh my God,
Yeah.
it makes my head spin.
And we haven't had enough rain this year to really know
No, not this year.
what is, where that issue is
No.
coming from.
Well, we're up to date on sewer, so thank you. I don't think we need anything else on the sewer side, but,
Maybe a couple things on computer stuff.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
all your computers, did you get a chance to get those updated to 11?
Did I?
Yeah.
I didn't know we were doing that.
If you can,
We need
we ask
to.
that you do that.
Okay.
If you can do it, and possibly do it before the 14th,
So,
Of what?
October.
Okay.
so, so,
So here's what's happening, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was waiting, I thought there
The whole
was gonna be a
sentence.
next step. I didn't,
No,
and
if you,
read
if you
the
can,
last
if you
paragraph
can
of the email.
update, please do so.
okay.
And if you cannot, please let us know, so.
All of our computers can be updated.
Okay. So here's the deal. If we have RCR do it, it's 600 a computer. Whether it's general fund or non-general fund, somebody's gonna cover it.
Yeah.
You've updated computers
Sure.
before, right?
Yep.
It's
Yep.
Not
Not
worth that.
$600, yeah.
Yeah, so preferably if we can do them, please
Okay.
do them. I have this list for you, I'll send you this list.
So we sent you.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I put additional information in it, and if we can get a little more information, you know, with everything, the way everything's going with policy and programs and everything that the governor has pushed through because of all these cybersecurity ransom situations, we need to have an inventory of computers, of all the computers in the county. It needs to list the username, the device name, which is practically the same thing as the username. And then all of those other components, which I've already got all that stuff. So that's the only other thing that I need for all three things that fall under your stuff. So I'll resend this to you. And the ones that are highlighted in yellow are the ones that are still on 10. I know you have at least one that's 7 that you probably can't change because it's got something specifically
Mhm.
tied to it that, but we still need to let them know. And the biggest thing is making sure that nothing is on the network that can cause a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So if something never touches a network and it's
Yeah, it never
Windows
touches
7
your network, right?
Yeah, well, and if it touches your network, it becomes a problem for you too.
Yeah.
So, you know, whether or not you want a problem with your server,
Right.
and it doesn't affect me, it affects you.
Right.
So, the idea is to have everything up to date as much as you can, because if you don't get those updates, and if you have computers that it's very important you keep them on 10 or 7, if you can still get a paid update subscription to it, to get those updates, I can't imagine they still do it for 7.
Yeah.
But 10 definitely does for the next 3 years. 1 year, it's like $65, next year it doubles, and I think after that doubles again. Then it's gone, 100%, but you have to pay for it. So for anything that is going to come into our network, we're gonna require that it's on 11. And if it's not, it's gonna, at the very minimum, has to have the update for 10. And then, as we go, I mean, the idea is those computers need to get replaced at some point in time. The less protection in it, the more danger they are to anybody's system. So, I will send this to you again.
It's a thankless job he's doing.
I mean, there's
Very much.
at least 27 different departments or entities that we have to get this done with. I don't, does RCR do their stuff? Do we know? Who takes care of all your computer
Your
stuff?
IT stuff.
Who's your IT?
So I'm our IT guy.
You're your IT. So who installed all your stuff? Would that have been like Buckeye or somebody, or did you install all that?
I installed everything, and but then when Buckeye has been out there when we had to do like things with Julie's
Yeah.
server and stuff like that. But I do I used to build our computers, so yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the most important thing is being in compliance. You are still, whether you're not directly under us,
Mhm.
it's still a government entity, and the governor's expectation is we have all these policies and protocols and stuff that's gonna have to be put into place, and if you have a cybersecurity incident, you gotta report to the auditor of state, you gotta report to Ohio Homeland Security. So, at the very least, what I'll end up doing, even though you're not directly into things, we still have to send them the policy anyway, so.
What do you like the best? Work, holding a torch or running a bandsaw or
Yeah.
putting
Or
computers
working
together?
with computers.
Yeah, like,
I hate
But
it.
he knows how to do enough that he's
For
got
sure.
the whole
I
system
think,
set up.
I think
Yeah.
being in the field.
Yeah, we ran all our own we did it all, so we ran our own network.
Build his own house,
There you
build
go.
his own trailers, build,
Yeah,
yeah.
I just refused to pay anybody for anything,
Keep that
so.
old car running.
I can be that way too.
Yeah.
What is that, a Mazda you got?
No, so we had the Valiant.
You
So
know, that
the-
2002 or something, what is it?
Oh, my Honda
Oh,
Civic.
Your Honda Civic,
Yeah.
yeah.
Just turned 340,000.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
Alright.
it'll run forever.
We're good?
Awesome. Thank you all very much.
I have one last
Thank
thing. This whole thing with the regional thing.
Oh, yeah, the RTPO.
I mean,
Yeah, sorry, I'm not doing an
Going
evening meeting for that. so-
Yeah.
Well,
You don't want any more evening meetings either, do you?
no,
Yeah, okay.
I'm unwilling